In the next 2 minutes, I'm going to give you a very quick explanation and a concrete example of what interleaving is so you can use it in your classroom practice. Now, the reason I'm recording this is because many times when I speak to people, they talk about spacing and interleaving, almost as if it's one word or one phrase, and actually there's some distinct differences. Yes, they're generally used together, but spacing and interleaving can be separated, and spacing is the time that we leave in between the different content and how long we leave before we retrieve it. But actually interleaving is more about kind of comparing and contrasting between different skills and different issues in the classroom. So if I give you an example of this, in maths, we might kind of teach addition or subtraction or angles on a straight line. And if we only ever teach that in one block of work, students get used to it. So therefore it's fairly easy for them. They know what's coming, they know what to look for in the question, and they're in that kind of mode of thinking that they know what to do next. But actually, if I was going to teach you how to play tennis, what I would probably do to start with is I would teach you how to play forehand, then I would teach you how to play backhand. But ultimately, when I'm teaching you how to play forehand, you're going to get very comfortable. You'll be stood in the correct position, you'll have your feet stood in a certain way, you'll be angled, the grip will be a certain way, and it becomes very easy. But at some point, I then need to start to vary the feed from left to right, because that's what happens in a game. You need to then actually identify from the feed, do I have to move to backhand, do I have to move to forehand, do I have to change based on where the ball is? And that's what happens in real life. Real life isn't linear. We don't get one issue all the time. And in exam boards, we don't get the same questions of the same topic all in one block. Students have to identify actually what's coming next and what's the question asking me, what skill do I need and how do I need to kind of approach this. So we need to do this in our lessons as well. But the tip is to make sure you get students to a fairly good foundational stage before you then compare and contrast between different skills and different content. Because just like in the tennis, if I start varying the feed immediately, it'd be too difficult. We need to get to a certain point first before we can start to interleave. Hopefully that's been interesting and useful. I know it's been very, very quick in these 2 minutes. If you want to know more about interleaving, I've written about it in my recent book, Teaching Rebooted, but think about how you can then start to vary that to up the challenge to be more like real life, I suppose. If it's been useful, join the comment below, share it, join the comments in the conversation in your staff room.